Happy 30th anniversary CLFC. Because of CLFC, we found our love story.
That's our CLFC story.
Free Methodist Missions Philippines presents Mobilization Monday. Every Monday, join us as we ignite your passion for missions, share inspiring stories, and equip you to make an impact for God's kingdom right where you are. Hello, welcome everyone to another episode of Mobilization Monday, brought to you by Free Methodist Missions Philippines. Once again, I'm your host, Clyde, serving as the National Director for Free Methodist Missions Philippines. And today, or this week, we are celebrating a very special milestone, the 30th anniversary of the Campus Light Friendship Club, also known as CLFC. For 3 decades, this campus-based ministry has been a beacon of hope, faith, and transformation for countless young lives. And today, we have the honor of hearing from the very person who started it all, Bishop Emeritus Alan P, Bacus, the founder of CLFC. Bishop, welcome to Mobilization Monday. We're so glad to have you with us.
Hello, good evening, everyone, and thank you, Clyde. I'm so glad to be here and excited of what will be our discussion.
Now, let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Can you take us back to the early days? We'll be featuring a Campus Light Friendship Club this time. So, Kuya, how did CLFC come to life?
Okay. In my perspective, it started with God. It's God's heart for every generation, and also God's invitation for me to join with what He is doing. So I spent time, uh, you know, i- with the students in the campus. I intentionally visited different campuses, talked with the students, and so that time I sense the need. But of course, it's not that easy because there are things that you have to consider. But uh, it increases when I saw the need of the students. They need someone that they can talk to, they can confide with. Kasi pag sa mga magulang nila, may limitations. But when they are talking to a friend, so ayun, parang mas madaling ma-express yung nasa puso nila. And because of that, I started to contemplate, but again, with all the reservations. But thank God, it was in 1994 that I have engaged with the students when I was pastoring Bacus Free Methodist Church at that time. And when I pastored the church, I don't know, but all of a sudden, ang mas madaling na-connect sa akin, mas na-engage sa akin ay yung mga students, mga young people. So I have around 5 young people who were members of different fraternities. And so sila yung mga kasama ko. And so they told me, pasyal tayo sa school. And only to find out na yung isa pala doon ay expelled from that school. And so we talked to the students and the numbers increases and until the following year, the conference assigned me to Davao City. Ang dali ko nakalimutan yung church, ang hindi ko makalimutan yung mga estudyante. So, doon nagsimula, mas lalong tumindi yung aking, God's invitation for me to join with what He is doing. So, I remember intentionally visiting Bigos, not to the church, but to the students. And I remember during my 25th, 26th birthday, Pastor Encarnado, who was my senior pastor then, um, told me that I sense something in you. So I had a struggle, but I went through the experiencing God. And mas lalong tumindi kasi parang mas nakita ko, God was really telling me, join with me. And so, on my 26th birthday, um, 1995, January. And uh, before because in the parsonage, I was alone. And so the Lord was telling me, today you need to make a decision. And it was so real to me. And so I woke up, I stood, I walk, papuntang Jollieville, yung makita mo yung Mount Apo early in the morning. If you're familiar with Davao City, buhangin. So I walk Panorama Homes to Jollieville on the top of that hill. And so I said, Lord, it's very hard. It's not easy. And so I said, will I say yes? But I struggled. I returned, and when I arrived in the parsonage, maybe around 8:30 in the morning, I was sitting like this in the table. And so I told the Lord, Lord, this is not easy. This is hard, but okay. So I counted one, two, three. Yes. And so when I said yes, all of the reservation, all of the fear, all of the doubts were all gone. And I was so excited. So right there and then, I called up Pastor Boy Encarnado. I said, Pastor Boy, this conference here, I will not accept an assignment, because I will serve the Lord full time in the campus ministry. And Pastor Encarnado told me, I am seeing it happen. So but of course, it was not an easy thing. People were questioning if it is possible or not. But when you obey the Lord, everything is possible. Though I don't know, wala nga akong idea na maging ganito yung CLFC. I just obey the Lord that time kasi sinabi niya. So I just obey. So taking one step at a time.
Wow, amazing. I think I love how you quoted, Kuya, that someone empowered you, someone trusted you,
Yep.
and someone somehow launched you, really fully embracing this call from God. Now, you shared about some amazing histories, but you could also share to us some of the early challenges you faced. We know naman na in the pioneering stage, ang daming mga challenges. So, would you like to share to us those challenges and how did you see God move in those moments?
Okay, I itemized maybe around five different area where I am seeing, mga challenges in this ministry. Una po, personal. Uh, can I make it? Why? Because during the time, meron po akong scholarship from a missionary, as a Southern Baptist missionary, sponsored me na mag-aral sa Koinonia Theological Seminary, taking Masters of Divinity. And so I have a choice to make, to continue my studies or to start this. And can I do it? What am I going to do? I don't have much resources. I don't have higher education. So those are the things in the personal level. Another challenge that I face is the organizational. I'm an assigned pastor of the Free Methodist Church, and during that time, I had a word from the Lord that I need to focus on reaching the students. And so, a question like, will they believe in me? And the challenge talaga ay maraming hindi naniniwala sa akin. At maraming nag-oppose sa akin, even the leadership of the local church that I was serving then, Buhangin Primary Church, yung mga member ng official board, apat sila, at kinausap ako, and they're giving me all the practical preparations that I need. And lahat ng mga parang it's not easy if you will do it this way because you need this, you need that, and very tough. And another thing is because there are so many pastors also na sa tingin nila parang hindi tayo mabubuhay in the ministry. So how are you going to support your ministry? And so I remember when I informed them during the annual session na talagang somebody told me, tingnan natin hanggang kailan yung by faith mo. And another one told me that you will just say that because you are still single. But if you are married, you cannot do that. And of course, the financial aspect of it. Kasi voluntary to. Sinabihan ako ng aming leader noon, if you will serve in that ministry, wala tayong programa na ganyan, so walang budget yan. And so you will serve as a volunteer. And so I said yes. Parang okay lang. Pero behind my mind, ako, sabi ko, can I make it? But then, I thank God how the Lord provided. And so, specifically in the area of finances, let me share this very specific experience because it's holding me, it's encouraging me that even nung serving as the pastor, serving as the bishop, hindi ko makakalimutan ang story na yon o ang experience na yon. And it happens in April 3 of 1995. That was during the annual session of the Southern Mindanao Annual Conference. And so during the time, I will be assigned as campus minister. And I received all of those comments na negative. So before our annual session started, kasi ako yung nag-lead ng praise and worship that time. And so the secretary of the conference told me, "Oh, Alan, meron kang notice sa post office." So I went there and pagpunta ko doon, nakita ko yung registered mail from a friend. And so ang haba ng kanyang letter, 5 pages, back to back, yellow pad, and explaining everything kasi something happened in our friendship. But there's a line there in that letter when it says, I struggle to send you this amount because it will make a difference in my account. But I must obey the Lord. Because the Lord told me that He doesn't want you to suffer financially as you start your campus ministry. And you know how much that check? It's 800 US dollar. And so, you know, during that time, I was okay. Before then, Ateneo de Davao University, yung sa baba niyan is Alimar's bookstore. You can go there and read books. So, doon ko binasa yun kasi galing ako sa post office. And when I read that letter telling me that, you know, I really feel the embrace of God. And every time I remember that, I can, you know, I'm sorry. I'm carried by my emotion because during the time when I read the letter, I feel God was embracing me and telling me, that's what I told you if you will just obey. And that experience continue as I serve the Lord. So when I went back to the annual session, so that's the opening, so I was leading the praise and worship. And sa lineup na pinapractice namin, nandun yung Jehovah Jireh, my provider. You know, you are more than enough for me. And at the middle of the song, I stopped. And I said, you know, I've been singing this song. I've been preaching about Jehovah Jireh, my provider. And I believe on it. But, you know, only today that I am convinced that this is so real. And then I give my testimony. And I said, now I know experientially that truly Jehovah Jireh provides for us when we obey. And na nakakatawa nun kasi after the praise and worship, when I stepped down, yung pastor na nagsabi sa akin na, tingnan natin kung hanggang saan yung faith mo. Parang ganon. And then sabi niya, sabi mo lang yan kasi single ka pa. Uh, Siya yung nagsabi sa akin, oh, so, mayaman ka na. Siya yung nagsabi. And so those are the things. That's on the area of finances. But on the other hand, also on the area of, spiritual, the, uh, you know, enemies, enemies attack, and also people who question your motive. But I thank God that when you are really called by God and you focus on God, you just keep on doing. Kasi hindi mo naman ma-please lahat.
Amen. Wow. That's very moving, Kuya. Indeed, when God calls you, He's really there to provide all of our needs, and sometimes He will give it to you miraculously,
Yes.
beyond our imagination. So, well, 30 years is a huge milestone.
Yeah.
I want to say, amazing that God still allow us to see the fruits of our labor. So, what do you think, Kuya, has been the secret behind CLFC's longevity and continued impact? Perhaps you could share some highlights or maybe stories as CLFC expanded and grow.
Okay. When the CLFC started, honestly, I am more concerned of how to keep it going. Okay? Because, okay, the Lord called me to start this. So, parang I am making myself so accountable. So, I need to do this. I need to do that. So, I am doing everything what I can learn. So, I was reading John Maxwell's books. I was reading about administration and how to do things, vision, mission. And because I want to keep it going. So, yung mga kasamahan ko sa CLFC na nanonood ngayon, yung mga sinabi nga nila, mga ninuno ng CLFC, those who joined with me on my first years sa CLFC, the first 5 years, they can tell, grabe yung standard ko, Clyde. Before doing this, dapat meron ito, meron ganito, you need to inform me, and then napakaraming forms that they need to fill in. There's a monthly report, and the issue of control. You really want to control what is doing. You need to know everything, what is happening, and but the transition happened in year 2000. In the year 2000, when there was a question, I think it was the Lord who asked me that question kasi I was reflecting. And the question was, if Alan Bacus will die today, what will happen to CLFC? So yun yung tanong na pag namatay ako, anong mangyari sa CLFC? I think about it and what I'm doing, and I evaluated all the actions that I'm doing. My honest answer was, CLFC will die. That was my honest answer. CLFC will die. And so I need to talk with other people and giving my inputs, my ideas. And so I said to myself, we need to change. So every 5 years, I prepared myself. There needs to be changes that we need to make every 5 years, or maybe along the way, or maybe even every year. No problem. So during the time, I said that, I have to let go before I can tell how many members we have in the CLFC. Kasi nasa akin yung lahat ng listahan. Ako yung nag-produce lahat. And lahat ng kanilang gagawin, they need to inform me. But then, I changed everything. I said, this is not mine. This is of the Lord. So if this work is God's work, therefore, this will continue even without me. So I start to relinquish the control. And so I need to draft the constitution and bylaws of the CLFC and putting there. And then the mode of operation, paano ba tayo mag-operate? So talagang you are free to strategize. You can do the things where God is leading you, as long as uh, you know uh, that we are here because we want to share the Jesus friendship. And so the transition started to happen where I started also to intentionally release and no control. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I don't want CLFC to become an organization. That was very intentional. I wanted to become an organism where people are not accountable to someone, but only accountable to God and what God is leading. And that's why even now there are chapters, CLFC, where I don't have any connection. And they will just inform me that, "Uy, kuya, meron akong chapter dito. Kailan ka kaya makavisit?" Because hindi mo talaga maiwasan kahit sabihin mo sa amin na, you don't need to mention my name. People will ask, saan mo 'to nagsimula? Sinong nag-start nito? And so parang, okay, buhay pa ba yung founder niyan? Ganito. And so I said, okay, I hope that I can have time to visit. But talagang, it's beyond my control. And in fact, to be specific, when I look at Cagayan de Oro City, Cagayan de Oro City, balulang from Methodist Church. And they started the CLFC and said, oh, just do it. And when I saw what they're doing, I was so amazed. And I said, especially, Justin, si Pastor Jen James, I said, how I wish, guys, I will learn from you because that's not my strategy. Iba yung ginagawa namin noon. And so that's I think that's the reason why it continues, because I'm no longer in control and I'm not in charge. I just gave it all to the Lord. So yeah, ganon.
Yeah, amazing. So I think recognizing the full potential of all young people and all
Yes.
leaders, I think being encouraged, that someone is believing in you, allows them to explore as well in terms of their leadership. Kuya, looking forward, been
Okay.
hearing that CLFC has been expanded tremendously, and even you mentioned na kahit di mo na alam, may chapter pala doon. So, personally to you as the founder of this Holy Spirit-led na movement, what are your hopes for the next 30 years of, CLFC? Do you have dreams or visions that you can share to all of us who are watching? No? So maybe it would be very encouraging to them as well to hear from you.
Okay. What is my hope? I hope that I will be erased from the story. Okay, but the movement will continue, because it's not about me. No, it's not about me. It is really all about the Lord. And I am praying that this mga second, third, fourth liners na yata ng CLFC will continue. And I'm also hoping and I'm praying that churches will really own the CLFC. When I say they will own it, meaning they'll just use it and they can do whatever they want. And kasi simula pa noon, Clyde, I keep on telling people with what we are doing in CLFC, kasi hindi kasi siya traditional na campus ministry, yung style niya. So, ang palagi kong sinasabi, you can use it, you can change the name, hindi yung kailangan ako i-recognize, just if you are seeing that the principles and the things that we're doing are very relevant and applicable in your place, you can replace it with all the names and you can just follow our strategy. Because again, this is of the Lord. This is not mind. Especially now na talagang I disband the organizational aspect of it. It becomes just a spirit. It becomes an organism that is being, parang naging contagious na those who applied it are really also reaping uh, the fruits of what they're doing. So, I don't know kung buhay pa ako niyan. I will be almost 100 years old na ako niyan eh. But it is my prayer that by someday, tulad ng sinabi ko kay Doktora Tan, okay? Sinabi ko to kay Doktora Tan when they ask me, ano palang pinakita ni Lord sa'yo? Bakit ka talaga mag-resign sa Buhangin Free Methodist Church? Sabi ko kay Doktora Tan noon, nandun yun, Doktora Tan, Ate Esther Abogadi, at saka si Mother XP Sarigumba. Sabi ko, I might sound proud in saying this, but I look at CLFC as a campus ministry not only for Davao City and Digos, that was 1995, but this will spread all over Mindanao, and this will become nationwide and will become worldwide. And ang ano bang term na pwede kong gamitin? Ang nakakatawa nito, Clyde, kasi para bang this will become worldwide, and then ang tanong, where's the headquarter? And you know, Clyde, walang headquarter ang CLFC. Wala kang place na maano. Kaya nga, and I was also intentional to do it. Because I want everyone, when they think of CLFC, and it is a spirit, it is a movement, that they will think that it's all of God. So they need to go back to the heart of God that is so concerned for every generation. That's why I'm so open that the next, siguro, after 10 years, there will be new things that is happening in CLFC because it's being led by people whose passion is still there, love for Jesus, but because we are in a different world, they're doing a different strategy that is effective in sharing the Jesus friendship.
Well, thank you so much, Kuya, for sharing that vision. We know in God's time it will come to pass. So before we wrap up, Kuya Alan, maybe you can, let's make this personal, no? So maybe you could speak a word of encouragement, of course, not only to the CLFC members, but to all our listeners, especially those who may be called to minister to students. Personally, to me, I know you in this sense of your passion for the students, maybe also with young people, but primarily for students, or maybe to start something new. What could be your words of encouragement?
Okay, let me start with my fellow pastors. Okay, to my fellow pastors and to my fellow Free Methodist pastors, my encouragement to you, please support the movement of the students. So, if merong mga estudyante sa mga churches natin, encourage po natin sila to be involved in the ministry. And kasi mga pastor tayo, we always think of return service na tinutulungan natin yung mga estudyante natin. So we want them also to serve in our denomination. So let us be intentional. Let us be intentional. Huwag nyo lang hayaan na yung mga estudyante natin will just participate in any campus movement in the university. Let them join the Free Methodist Campus Movement. Any campus movement initiated by the Free Methodist Church. Hindi lamang po sa LFC. Kundi alam ko, di ba, meron tayong Life Pathway Campus Ministry. Help your students, encourage your students to be involved in it. Kasi kailangan, at hindi lang sa kailangan, that's the best place for them to be discipled. Kasi while learning, they're putting it into practice. So sa aking mga kaibigang pastor, what will happen to our church pag hindi tayo intentional na yung mga estudyante natin be involved in the student ministry? Nako, maubusan ho tayo. Bakit? All of the churches in the world right now are in campus ministry. Ewan ko lang kung anong simbahan na walang campus ministry. Lahat ng mga nagsilakihang churches in the Philippines are intentional and in doing campus ministry. And their campus ministry, funded, supported by their denomination. So, sa mga kaibigan kong pastor, if you want to reach the Generation Alpha, Gen Z, and all these generations, we need to solidify, strengthen our presence in different campuses, high school, elementary, college, and universities. To the students, sa mga estudyante, keep on giving your best as a student. Okay? Give your best as a student. Kasi you cannot be an influencer kung kulelat yung performance mo. Kaya sa mga estudyante, do your best. Kaya lang, let me warn you also. There's a statement na nabasa ko na worship God with your studies, but do not worship your study. Okay? So, make your school works as an act of worship to God. So, give your best and do the things na kailangan maging totoo. Huwag pong anong tawag dito? Walang mag-shortcut. You need to study, you need to make research, do it in a right way. But don't make your study your God. Ibig sabihin, parang kinalimutan mo na yung eternal destiny because you are just so focused on your studies. Yung isang kaibigan ko, sabi niya, wag mong gamitin si Lord para sa study mo. Okay? Kundi, gamitin mo yung study mo para kay Lord. So, ibigay mo yung the best so that you can influence others also to trust Jesus because of your performance in your studies. And sa lahat po ng mga kabataan, students, and listen to God with what God wants you to do. Sa mga members ng Campus Light Friendship Club, I know we guys coming from different churches and different denominations, and maraming mga nag-connect sa akin, and kuya, padala mo yung session ng CLFC. Sabi ko, you can do your own thing. Said, no, we want to be part of CLFC. Well, if that is what God wants, continue the connection. But what is important is we listen to God. My experience, I was trained with Campus Crusade for Christ, and also with the Philippine Student Alliance Lay Movement, SAM. I have a connection and spend time also with the Navigators, with Agape and IBCF. I have all those things. I've been reading their books, their materials. But when I said, Lord, okay, I'm going to start. I'm focusing on ministering to the young people, to the students in the campus. So I asked which campus ministry that I'm going to join, and none of them. So I started from zero. It was not easy, pero pag tinawag ka kasi ni Lord, again, you can do it. And if the Lord is telling you that you need to start something, and you don't know what to do, and how are you going to do it, we can talk. You can connect with me, and maybe along the way, I can give some advices. Paano tayo makinig at paano tayo mag-obey kay Lord. So, ang importante lang kasi, we need to obey God. Lastly, CLFC started because of the verse also na pinakita ni Lord sa akin na may impact talaga sa akin, and that's John 15 verse 13. No greater love than this, that a person will lay down his life for his friend. So um, be sure that we really die to ourselves. The moment God is calling you to be in the ministry, the first thing that you need to do is to really give your all. And you need to die. Why? You need to die to yourself because you're going to accomplish so many things. And that's very dangerous. I have all of those struggles before. And when people started to listen to me and they started to not to challenge my decision, especially among the CLFC leaders, they will not challenge my decision. When I say this, okay, and they just, okay, let's do it. Doon ako kinakabahan. Kasi nakikita ko na ako parang maging ano ako. I'll just not mention the name. But talagang pwede kang mag-abuse, pwede kang mag-manipulate kasi people are trusting in you, people are believing in you. So that's why it's very important that you need to die to yourself. And the longer you serve the Lord, the more you must decrease, the more Christ increases in your life. At hindi lamang yun papogi na statement. Dapat makita yun sa buhay natin. Dapat paano natin ginagawa ang ministry na talagang si Jesus ang makikita, hindi ikaw. It is really the Lord. So, not your name, not your performance or what. So, tulad ng mga sinabi ko, mga kapatid, you need to listen and you need to really obey. After all, there is no other way to prove that you love Jesus but to obey. There is no other way. You must obey. If God is calling you, just simply obey. The rest is history. Just obey.
Thank you so much, Bishop Emeritus Kuya Alan, for inspiring us with your story and faith. And once again, congratulations po sa lahat ng mga CLFC members on your 30 years of ministry and impact. And to our listeners and viewers, remember, God can use you to mobilize a movement wherever you are. Join us again next week for another episode of Mobilization Monday as we celebrate what God is doing in and through the Free Methodist family. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook page and also with our YouTube channel. Once again, this is Mobilization Monday. Let's keep mobilizing for God's glory. God bless.